This video is called Our Dad's Garage. He's my dad. Yeah!
All right, hey guys, it's JD out here at Our Dad's Garage. So today we're going to talk about car stereos. I've seen a couple of you guys out there questions about what you should do with your speakers, what you should do with your bass, what you should do with your head unit. There's a lot to talk about with that. So if you've got a 53, 49, 54 Bel Air, any of those Chevy cars that we all love so much, I'm going to show you what I did with mine and why I did it that way, and just some ideas to help you maybe kind of navigate what you should do on car stereos. So that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so first off, I want to just show you this. So I bought a Pioneer head unit on eBay. So this one is about 3 years old. This is 2021. I'm making this video. So this is about 3 years old. So it's a double DIN model. I installed car stereos when I was in college. So this stuff is kind of like second nature to me. But I decided that I want to do that head unit there because I got kids and it's got a DVD player. And it will be fun. And it's got a video out. And so on the video out, what I did was I installed another screen just over what I call the hump in the floor of the back seat, so the kids, when they're riding in the back seat, they can watch TV screen too. So that's just kind of cool. So I did that. I built this console. In that console, I've got my air conditioning unit and I've got my air rod air gauge there. So that's in there, and that just fit just really nice. So I did not put a stereo up in the dash. I built the console for that purpose because you've got a lot of floor space down there that just really goes to waste if you don't use it. So to me that made sense. Plus I've got the vintage air and all of my my old radio location I used for the center air ducts. So the vintage air took up that space too. The original speaker sits behind this grill. That's all it had. One speaker, AM radio, was all that this one had. I did not go back for that look there. There's a couple of things you want to think about when you're going to locate speakers, and one of the things you want to think about is how is it going to sound? Where am I going to get some sound? And I see a lot of guys putting speakers down in that kick panel, and I'm telling you, I don't think that's a good location for a speaker because it's so far down there, and your legs, when you sit in the car, if I was to have somebody's legs, they would be right over that spot. And of course they are with this door speaker here too, but this is a whole lot less obtrusive to me to put a 6-inch. This is a 6-inch Rockford Fosgate speaker. Back in the day, man, Rockford Fosgate was the baddest stuff in the world, man. All the cool kids had Rockford Fosgate, so that's what I decided to go with. I found a set of 6-inch Rockford Fosgate speakers on eBay. I think I paid $70 a pair for them. So I bought 2 pair, and I did the exact same thing on my back deck. So on my package tray back here, tucked on the corners, I put Rockford Fosgate 6 inches, and they literally blast into that back window, and that funnels that directly into your ear. So you want to think about directional sound, especially in your high-end range, your mid and high-end range. It's very directional. It doesn't matter where you put a sub, you're going to hear it. But I see some guys doing some kind of crazy stuff down here on the side with some 6x9s above their armrests over here. And if that's all you can do, that's fine. But that's a directional speaker, and it's only going to be heard really loud if you're sitting in the back seat, directly in front of it. That window throws that speaker's voice directly into the driver and passenger's ears. So you don't have to have crazy power. These are only, I can't remember what the wattage is in those speakers. I'd have to tell you. But they're not carrying any of the low end. They're just carrying a really crisp mid and high end tweet. And that's all they really do, because I carry all of the mid range in. I'm going to show you my trunk, and I've already got this panel laid down. So I have this panel that pops down, and I've got my 2 batteries in there. And then I bought this Rockford Fosgate, again, because it's Rockford Fosgate. Rockford Fosgate, it's a 12-inch subwoofer with a 300-watt amplifier built into the box. So, check this out. When you build the panel, and you close that panel up, every bit of that's gone. Okay, that's why I wanted that. Now, I went with their box. I didn't build my own box because Rockford Fosgate engineers, they're the ones that know how to make that thing sound great. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. That I found on eBay. I think I paid $325 for the speaker and the amplifier. They're built in together. The cool thing about these new amplifiers, guys, if you did this back in the day, you used to have to run a power cable and you used to have to run a remote cable to tell this unit to turn on when the radio turned on. Now, when you run your speaker cables, the unit actually picks up the signal of the speaker cables, and it doesn't need a remote cable. So you literally only have to run power from your battery to this, and then a speaker cable to it, and you're done. That's it. So no power from the radio to that speaker. It comes through the speaker cable itself. So that's carrying all of my mids and lows, and Have got the four Rockford Fosgate 6 inches, as you see again, on the package tray and in the door. And I located them there. You do have to do a little bit of cutting in the metal there to get that speaker to mount right there. But that's the best location that I felt like when I was installing car stereos. If somebody came to me and said, you know, where would you put speakers? That's where I'd have put them. Based on the throw of the speaker and just the wattage requirements for those speakers, you don't have to have a lot of high-end wattage. So this head unit puts out 25 watts per channel by itself. It's got its own amplifier built into it with 25 watts per channel, which doesn't sound like much, but with a speaker that big that's rated at what that speaker's rated at, that's exactly what it needs. So I don't have to have an additional amplifier to run those speakers, okay? And I'm telling you, this thing rocks. Like, it's crazy loud. I'm 51 years old. I'm going to tell you, I pull up next to people all the time and I'm playing my Back in Black, or I'm playing, you know, the rock and roll from the old days, and people are like, wow, that's a kicking system. And it is 25 watts per channel for these 6-inch speakers. That's plenty to carry those. And then you've got the built-in 320, I think it's 300 watts on that Rockford Fosgate for the sub. The cool thing about that too is the Rockford Fosgate subwoofer comes with, so you can increase and decrease the bass. This goes directly to that unit in the trunk, and there's plenty of manufacturers that do the same thing. So I think what I would do is find the system that you want. If you don't want this new look, you know, you can do that. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, the retro looking radios, you can do the same thing, and I believe those are 25 watts per channel, and I believe they also have the RCA outs for the sub in the trunk, so you could do all that same exact thing and not spend a ton of money. So all in head unit, 4 6-inch Rockford Fosgate speakers, and the system in the trunk for the sub. I've got, let me think, I think I've got about $550 in it. That's it. So you can build a killer system in a car like this that's not obtrusive. The last thing you want to do when you look into a car like this, when you go show it, is you want to see some big box or some crazy looking door panel that's been built out to give you that kind of power. I'm telling you, if you need it louder than this, your hearing is failing. And mine is, you know, I get that tinnitus and stuff too. Anyway, if you need it louder than this, you need it pretty loud. So just wanted to kind of show you what I did with mine, and maybe give you some ideas of what you could do with stereo in your car, and think about location of speakers and really what that's going to look like. That's my advice for car stereos. So, hey, I had another guy talked about anti-theft device. So on mine, you hide the battery in the trunk. They get in the trunk. Look, pop that out. There's no way you're not going anywhere. You'd have to get in here with some tools and rewire that battery connection. So that's a really good anti-theft device. That's pretty cheap. I think I found that at maybe O'Reilly's. Anyway, But that goes in, and then that also, you know, if you don't drive them every day, you're going to run the battery down. So I just keep it turned off. There's no what they call parasitic draw on your battery. A lot of electronic devices, especially anything that plugs in to a USB port, is going to have a parasitic draw these days. So you just want to make sure that you're not having that. And with a battery cut off like that, that's perfect. So there you go. All right, we'll fire this up. It wants you to tell you that you're not supposed to do this going down the road, so you have to say okay. There is a kit that you can buy that will override that, though, for Pioneer, and every head unit, there's a way you can wire that in. Okay, hang on. Okay, so there's a kit you can buy, as I was saying, for the head unit, so that you can override this, so that music will play going down the road. But I wanted to show you this. So front seat, you've got video. And then also in the back seat, you got video. So that's for the kids. You know, kids got to go to the car shows. They got to do all that stuff too. But I just thought that was a lot of fun to have the DVD player in here. We watch a lot of Nanny McPhee. I think we do. But DVD, then you can select like your USB drive. The USB is actually synced to my... Wanted to show you this too. So when you select your input from disc to radio, auxiliary goes to a 1/4-inch jack in my glove box. So you could plug your phone into that, or you can buy, I don't know if you can see that little guy right there, that goes to my USB on the back of the radio, and that's just a Bluetooth receiver, and that's all that is. So what you're actually seeing on this is when you're looking at USB. Now this is older technology. The new radios will say Bluetooth. So you'll be able to sync directly to your phone. So when you select USB, okay, it's syncing to your phone. And I am on, let's see, I'm on AC/DC radio. And there you go. So that's how that works. So I'm gonna pause that. Okay, so I'll pause that so I can monetize this video without YouTube police getting on me. But that's how that works. So, you know, you want to use all the technology that you can. Of course, you've got a rear view camera. This one does have a backup camera. So hang on a second. I may have to be on. Let's see. I don't think I do. There we go. Backup camera. That's what it looks like behind my car right now in my shop. So you got a rear view camera. Now, I did have to fabricate a switch for this gear shift. But I can show you another video on how to do that. But basically, it's a little position sensor that senses the position of that shifter. And when it goes into reverse, anytime you shift into reverse, it's going to send that signal to the head unit, and the head unit is going to pick up the signal from the backup camera. So that's one of the things you can also do. That's why it's fun to have, you know, all the technology that you can inside these cars. So so you've got just basic radio, AM, FM radio. So a lot of times all we do is listen to discs, or really what I do all the time is, hang on, this is going to be on. What I do all the time is I've always got it on USB because I just play Pandora. And then also if it's on USB, if you just heard my phone kick in, if it's on USB, then my phone itself is actually communicating through the head unit, and I can talk on the phone through my stereo. Now, I do need to have this phone, the microphone is going to be still the microphone on the phone, so I need to have that in my lap or whatever. But, you know, as you're going down the road, you can answer that without having to silence the radio, find your phone, all that kind of stuff. You can just answer it. It will silence the music, and it'll come on loud if you're listening to loud music. But there you go. So you can do all that stuff. With a very inexpensive head unit. I mean, I paid $225, I think, for that thing. I don't remember what I paid for it. It was under, I didn't know it was under $300. Brand new in a box, maybe a year old technology at the time, 2 years ago. I mean, it's great. I mean, you got all these different settings. You got all these different things you can go through. It's got an EQ built in. All the different kinds of EQs that are built in. You can like upload all your own pictures, and you could do a whole pictorial thing of your car, so it would play on the screen while you're at the show, like pictures of your car at other shows. I mean, anything you can think of, you can do that kind of stuff. You can select, you know, any way you want, how you want your pre-out to be subwoofer. You can do rear speakers full. You can do, let's see, graphic EQ. Anyway, you guys know how this stuff is. Anyway, there's a whole lot of functionality with that. You can buy the navigation chip to go with it. I didn't get the navigation chip. I'm not going to go anywhere. I don't know how to get there in this car anyway. But you can get the nav chip to go with this, so it would have navigation with it. So just, you know, lots of cool stuff. Actually, when you get navigation, it pops up on this. It says NAV, and you've got it there. So lots of really cool different things that you can do with just a head unit, and not an expensive head unit. So I mean, a couple $100 and you're into $300. You're into something pretty nice. So that's cool. Pioneer, that's a name that's been around forever and ever. And all those big name guys have an eBay store that they're selling these things for a fraction of what they were when they hit the stores. And that's the Rockford Fosgate 6-inch round. That's my door speaker, and I just mounted it very simply and cleanly. I just decided that I wanted everything inside to be black, very simple lines. These are my power windows, by the way. I got those switches. I thought that was pretty cool. To have a power window in an old car, you know, no window cranks. That's pretty cool.